does humanity go from here? What have we tried to do? What if there is more, much more? The Keshe Foundation is proud to announce a new way to bring humanity forward through technology that brings humanity in line with the natural operation of the planet and universe itself. The new science and technology discovered and developed by the nuclear engineer Keshe centers upon the use and control of magnetical gravitational fields. This new body of knowledge opens the road to hundreds of potential applications, which offer solutions to most of the fundamental problems of the world, such as water, food, environmental contamination, and shortages of energy. The Keshe Foundation is proud to unveil the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute. Nestled amidst the beautiful shores of Bari, Italy, the Institute is poised to become a central hub in the spreading of plasma technology and knowledge. With its state-of-the-art 21st century facilities, the Institute will be able to provide students and staff an immersive way to learn the plasma technology, to be the leaders of the new generation of scientists and plasma engineers. The Keshe Foundation has opened the door to the world for peaceful usage of technology that is independent of the limited resources that are available on Earth. This is an understanding of how everything works together in harmony in our universe, and it applies to everything from the smallest to the biggest, from atoms to galaxies. We all are able to collectively work together in pursuit of knowledge, innovation, and solutions for our society. This learning environment is new to the world, where there will be no test to confirm your understanding. The knowledge of everyone will be respected and allowed to flourish in a nurturing environment. Hands-on testing and experimenting will be widely used in conjunction with roundtable discussions to bring all opinions and knowledge forward. Students will be introduced to a change in the ethos of working in collaboration. Students will experience firsthand how we share knowledge in a free and open manner. Graduating students are expected to share the knowledge they gain from the university within their respective communities and nations. All formal teachings, lectures, and presentations will be in the English language, with technology available for immediate translation. Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute will be offering 3-year executive master programs for undergraduate degree students and 1-year executive master programs for graduate degree students in the following fields: space transportation, new plasma technology, health, agriculture, materials, energy. The health section is designed to make students able to live in space without the need to return to Earth. To this end, the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute has found processes for many diseases including ALS, cancer, coma, epilepsy, multiple sclerosis. Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute will offer online teaching courses which will enable anyone, anywhere around the world to enroll and increase their knowledge and understanding. Students will have the opportunity to direct their work towards commercial spin-offs and seek funding through the help of the Keshe Foundation. The access to the new science and new technologies is openly available for peaceful use to the benefit of mankind to make a better world today. Now you can be part of the changing world and the new knowledge. All commercial spin-offs are intended to be open source and patent-free. This is part of the core ethos of the Keshe Foundation and the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute. Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute will have its official inauguration on April 21st, 2015, with courses commencing soon after on May 4th, 2015. The students of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute will be the leaders of the future who will make changes in all areas of space technology, science, medicine, agriculture, and energy. Anyone is able to apply, but acceptance is through invitation only. No prerequisites are required. We will be accepting approximately 250 students for the 3-year Executive Master's Program and 120 students for the 1-year Executive Master's Program. We welcome humanity's participation in the knowledge of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute. Where does humanity go from here? That is up to you. Apply today.
Welcome everyone to the 9th Chinese Knowledge Seekers Workshop. And tonight we'll hear from Mr. Keshe about some of the latest things going on with the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute. And also we have about a dozen questions lined up from the Chinese folks who have been doing various experiments and have questions on all kinds of different topics. So without further delay, let's go right ahead and listen to Mr. Keshe. We've got our Chinese translators that will translate for you. Do you want to translate that, Lisa? Oh, sorry, Lisa. Sorry, you have to restart again. I didn't have the audio going on the live stream. Okay, let's take that again.
Okay.
Go ahead.
OK，欢迎大家来到第9次中国网络教学。今天可能开始的时候会跟我们介绍一下基金会的情况，然后我们会有一些个问题提问和回答。下面如果我们不做进一步的就是延误的话，就我们开始往下进行，请开始先生讲话。OK。
Okay, now perhaps we can hear from Mr. Keshe with whatever you'd like to begin this workshop with, which is kind of auspicious in the sense that it's the first workshop after the meeting and opening of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute in Italy. And it's I think a big change has occurred during the last week or two of activities. So, Mr. Keshe.
Yes, good afternoon, good evening, good morning to you, wherever you are. As usual, we try to answer and at the same time learn from our Chinese knowledge seekers. So I would like to know what is on the agenda by the Chinese knowledge seeker group that we can learn something new.
瑞克刚才说可能我们会在过去的1周里边，因为我们有一个这个就是太空学院和这个陆姆大学的这个开学仪式，所以呢这个我们在这过去1周里边有了很多的变化就请开始先生给我们讲一下，然后开始先生说说大家早上好晚上好，就是看大家在哪里然后我们就说希望了解一下在这个就是我们中国的知识寻求者们有什么进展和情况。
Maybe as Rick said, we had a opening session of the Spaceship Institute here in Trani in Italy, and the next year hopefully will be the opening of the Spaceship Institute in China. And we have asked Lisa and the Chinese Keshe Foundation Group to arrange for the next year meeting in China.
刚才就像瑞克说的，我们就是有了很多变化，然后说我们刚刚在这个 training 这里边开始了我们这个就是学院的这个开幕那么希望我们明年的话，下一年可以在中国开始这个太空学院，然后我跟这个 Lisa 也说过，说争取我们就说在中国开始这个。
So what is new for today?
所以说今天有什么新的进展吗？然后问问题。There are a few questions here， 就说我们现在这里边有大概10几个问题需要问一下凯什先生。Nathan。
OK， 那么首先让我用中文来说一下第一个问题。第一个问题是来自 WB251的一个问题。那么他就说，如果把氧化铜干丝、二氧化碳干丝和 CH3 干丝放到干丝反应器中，是否会能够创造出自由的等离子体？谢谢。
The first question is if I put a CO2 gas and carbon oxide, CuO gas and CH3 gas all together into a gas reactor, will it create a free plasma?
Yes, it does, because the hanging reactor, which is in operation, and we've seen for months in the lab, is loaded with this combination. I think the combination is what, Arman? 3 of CH3, 2 of CuO2, and 1 of CO2. So we already done that. It says yes. It will create a plasma. This is the reactor which we are seeing, which reached 129 Tesla. Am I correct, Arman? Yes, it is 129 Tesla was achieved with this combination.
OK， 凯始回答说是的，会产生自由等离子体的。他说这个我们做过的那个，上一次阿门的那个产生129特斯拉的这个干丝，就是这3种干丝的组合，好像是有3份的 CH3，然后2份的氧化铜，1份的二氧化碳干丝，就是制造了这个现象。然后下一个问题。
好的，下一个问题也是由我来先说一下，也是来自于 WB2，也是来自于这个 WB251的问题。这是请问凯史先生能否讲一些关于 HARRP 工程计划的事情吗
？The question is, Mr. Kaiser, could you please tell us something more about the HARP project?
I'm not qualified to speak about such a thing, because I understand the working, but I'm no way qualified to even pass a comment on HARP. But in a way, I know exactly how it works.
开始回答说，他说我没有权利来对这个事情来进行评价和给出其他的信息，但是呢，我是知道这个系统是如何工作的。Next question， 下问题。Nathan？下一个问题。
Nathan, are you awake or is you asleep? Wake up.
I think he.
I'm here. 那么第3个问题是来自于 WB251的问题，他想问一下凯史先生，是否有这个登月的计划？如果有的话，我想加入，该如何加入？非常感谢。
The question is Keshe Foundation still have project traveling to the moon? If there is, what should I do? I can join it. Thank you very much.
We're still planning to go around the moon, but not landing on the moon. We explained this before. Keshe Foundation will go to moon, but will never land on it due to the religious reasons and respect for the Islamic religion. And if you want to join in, there are millions of people who are prepared to join in, and in time, we'll do in the coming time, very soon, yes. Well, we have already advertised. We take you to go around the moon, but we never land on the moon.
开始回答说， 说我们是有这个计划，是要旅行到月球上，但是我们只是说到那里边我们会绕着月球转一转，但是我们不会登在月球之上，因为由于这个就是宗教信仰的关系，我们不会就是宗教的关系，我们不会登上月球这个的话，你如果想加入的话，他说有很多人对我们这个比较感兴趣，就是上百万的人，但是等我们要是有这个行动的时候，我们会给大家就说通知，你可以加入。
And I'd like to add that it would probably be a good idea for someone that was interested in joining a project to travel to the moon to apply to the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute as a student.
瑞克回答说你如果想要参加这个就说到这个月球登月的这个团队，你还不如现在就加入太空学院来作为一个学生来学习。
In fact, I would highly recommend it. It's an outstanding institution, and you could do it online instead. So there's many options that way.
然后瑞克还说你也可以就是说不到太空学院，也可以在网络上就是参加这个教学，也就是有很多方式可以参加这个学习。
There is something which, while we're on the Chinese program, I know the people or Lisa can organize it for us. And those small reactors which we received about 20 of, we need a few more if you can send it to the foundation urgent. Has he sent it?
开始说现在我前一句没听清后边一句说就是这个我们要做一些实验，然后就说送给我们的这20个小反应器非常好，说如果能就说尽快给我们再送一些会更好。
But please make sure the address is correct this time. Last time we were lucky getting it.
说但是你们要是确保这次的地址对，他说上一次的话是就是地址错了，我们比较幸运还是得到了，但是就是有点拖延。
In the coming weeks, you will see the fruit of receiving those small reactors. It's allowing us to do things which we could not do, and we thank you very much for your contribution.
说在下面几周以后，你们会看到我们用这些个小的反应器会得到的结果。这是我们非常感谢你们的这个贡献。
What's the next question? Is there anything new you can show us?
有这些东西，我们就可以做很多实验。然后开始问说有什么东西新的吗？可以跟我们展示。We have some questions, still some questions. Nathan?
OK， 那么第4个问题呢是来自于水木山人这位朋友问的问题。那么他想问凯史先生，灵魂是由什么样的磁引力场组成的？灵魂是否是自由的？灵魂是否是一个自由的等离子体
？Next question is from Musui Shanren. This is a nickname. He's asking, what type of the magraphs compose the soul? Is the soul is what is what type of the gravitational magraphs? And he's asking, is the soul is a free plasma? Hello?
Sorry about that. I put you on I switched off the microphone. We have answered this question before. The plasma of the soul is no different than the plasma of the physical life, with a difference that is created out of the plasma of the free will of the structure, physical structure.
这个就是灵魂的这个自由等离子体和我们物质的这个就是这个等离子和物质的这个等离子体没有本质的区别，只是说我们这灵魂是由于有一个自由意志，就是 free will。
When the plasma of the soul reaches certain strength, then its gravitational magnetical field, which means reaching a certain strength of mass of the soul, is the time when it reaches maturity and the body, physical body, separates from the emotional, the soul of the body. So in a way, it can be, let me explain. In a way, you can be born for a second and reach that strength, and you still can be here for thousands of years and do not reach that point of the strength of the soul.
然后说，这个我们的这个灵魂，就是自从出生以后，然后会，就是达到一定的强度，达到一定的强度，就是我们的这个一定的 certain 这个就是这个质量，就是这个灵魂的质量，这样这个时候我们就可以灵魂离开我们的这个物质世界但是呢，有的时候可能这个灵魂就说可能要花上几千年，然后也不一定达到这个就是成熟来离开这个世界。So I want to ask a question, continue this one. If our soul not mature enough to leave this physical world, so what we do? Is where the soul stays.
No, the thing is not a maturity. Mature, when we say mature, it reaches its own balance. Then that's the time when the separation between the physicality and the emotional or the soul takes place.
OK 然后开始解释说这个是说是不是就是说你达到了这个层次以后就可以就离开你的这个物质身体，然后就会分离。So the soul should mature in one human life.
In respect to in respect to the environment of this structure of the environment of the universe, the place and the position of the soul is irrelevant. So the time doesn't exist.
OK， 然后我问凯史先生，我说这个是你在这个就是人的一生里的完成这个吗？凯史说这个人的这个灵魂和我们这个物质世界是和时间是不相关的，就说这个灵魂所在的位置和这个情况就是和时间没关。意思就说是就说是一直在这里存在的。
In reproduction, you transfer the physicality through RNA with DNA, but you cannot transfer the soul because it is free of the physical existence.
然后在我们出生的时候，这个时候是只是就是说是转移的，就是转变的你的这个DNA 是物质的这个层面的转变，实际上你的灵魂是就是说独立于这个完全脱离的这个世界的。
This is what I explained before. If you see the behavior or the emotion of the behavior towards a physicality is beyond the understanding or the level of emotion, in specific conditions, you can ask for a change of the soul. That through the change of the soul, you change the behavior of the physicality. But this is given, this is allowed in the special given cases and not all the time.
然后说，所以你这个就说你如果关注这个感情和这个人的这个就说行为的话，然后呢，你就因为有的时候这个是超出了我们这个感情能够所理解的程度实际上你可以就是说要求你的灵魂可以改变。我这块翻译的不好石头能翻译一下吗？
In so many cases, you call it upgrading the soul, or you are given a chance or the gift of operating with two souls. One is the soul of the man. Carry on.
OK，有的时候就说会说我们要提升我们的灵魂，使我们的灵魂的等级上升。实际上这个时候是我给了我们人一个灵魂，就是赋予了一个灵魂。我们本来有一个物质的就是有一个physical 的这个 soul， 有这个物质。你的这个灵魂，还有另外就是说会赋予你一个灵魂，然后来帮助你提高。
And if you are granted that the soul is prepared to change, when you wake up, you feel, you carry the memory of the physicality, but in touch, the body is a stranger to the emotion. It's a very strange feeling. You see, because you see and you feel something which doesn't belong to you, but you're a witness to it, and then you get used to the strength of the new strength of the physicality in respect to your into the emotion and the soul of the new soul which is received by the body. This is a very special cases, but it's a very strange emotional feeling, where it looks like you touch yourself, but it doesn't belong to you. And you know, you're aware of the change because you asked for it, because it was not fulfilling the structure of the physicality and the emotion.
有的时候你就说会就是极特殊的情况，你会就说得到一个这个灵魂但是呢，你是可以就是你可以看到这个灵魂和感觉到灵魂，但是呢，就说它又不属于你，然后你会对这个有感觉，然后你的身体呢，就说你的情感也会跟着相应的有变化。
It feels like you wishing and somebody else touching you, but the hand doesn't belong to you, but it carries out your wish without a say. And then it takes a few days, you get used to it.
然后说你有的时候这个你有这个赋予这个灵魂以后呢，你会就说会就像你就是触碰它，但又不是你的这个灵魂，但是呢，它会它会把你的这个愿望给你实现。然后呢，就说当你醒来的时候，你就说你就会觉得这个是这个是一个很奇怪的这个感觉。然后几天之后你就会习惯。然后开始现在问下一个问题。Nathan。
Next question.
OK。下一个问题是关于这个二氧化碳
We are here to learn, not to answer questions. Can you show us? Have we got anything new to learn?
开始问说你们一直在问问题，说有没有什么新东西给我们展示出来？
马上就有。
You Chinese knowledge seekers have given us a very bad habit.
说你们中国哲学给我们一个。Okay.
What about this picture, Lisa? Can you explain that? It seems to show something interesting, or is it just related to question number 5 of the
This is related to question number 5.
Okay, well, it's getting into some actual experiments here, so maybe we can
Okay.
further the knowledge there.
OK，你念吧，你念这问题吧。
那我把第5、第6个问题一起念，因为它是相关联的。那第5个问题呢，就是他说了，他这位朋友他做了很多二氧化碳干丝的盒子的实验，但是从来没有在表面看到过油脂。那么想问一下，怎么样才能做到能够让这个干丝的盒子上面看到油脂？然后呢，他又发现了另外一个现象，就是他把这个水果放到这个有少量 CO2 干丝的这个蒸馏水中，然后1、2天以后，在这个溶液的表面呢，就看到了出现了这个油脂。那么他把这个同样的水果放到这个 CH3 干丝或者是水或者是纯水中都不会产生这个油脂。那么请问一下，这个图片里面的这个展示是不是油脂？就是把水果放到二氧化碳干丝的这个水里面2天以后出现的现象。然后呢，能不能用在二氧化碳干丝杯去磁化中间的水来喝？是不是想要什么样水果的能量就放什么样的水果进去？
Oh, this is a long question. First, he said he made many CO2 bags, but he never saw the grease on the top. And then later he found something. If he put some fruit into the CO2 cans with distilled water, and then like in 2 days, on the top we'll have some grease on it. But if we put the fruit in the CH3 cans, water doesn't have this type of grease. So he's asking whether he can use CO2 cans to treat the water and so can drink the water. And he asked if what type of if it's I put the kind of fruit in, I will get that kind of fruit, the energy from that kind of the fruit. Understand?
Yeah, totally lost.
First he said that he cannot get grease from his CO2 gas, and second he said he put some fruit into the gas box. Not the gas box, the some container with CO2 gas and water, and he get grease on the top. But if he put fruit on in a CH3 gas water, doesn't have the grease, doesn't have the fat. I don't know what kind of fruit he put in. He seems like a
Yeah, I don't understand why he doesn't get I don't understand why he doesn't get the what we call the fat or the amino acid.
I don't know. Probably. Oh, I found.
Yeah. I wonder maybe he is using a load or a plate connection which is not creating CO2, but it is nickel oxide, which looks like it is very, very white. So because of that, you don't create the environmental magnetic field to extract the amino acid gravitational magnetic field to the surface of the matter, the water.
开始回答说，不知道你为什么你的这个二氧化碳这个不能制造出这个就是脂肪，因为也许是你的连接的不对，这个就是你的这个就是上边的这个电线和这个电就说你的负载连接的不对，可能你是制造的是开始是说氧化镍的干丝不是二氧化碳，这个镍的话会很白，他们不是用的锌啊，它是用的镍，然后说是不是这种情况？ 我下面我想跟开始说，我说我的这个二氧化碳干丝，就是说产生脂肪是在这放了好几天，所以我要跟开始说一下。Mr. Cash, I found something new. Because before I was making CO2 gas, I always dumped the CO2 gas out. Like after 2 days, and then I do it again. And this time, because I've been to Italy, so my gas box, nobody touched it for like 10 days. When I come back, on the top, a big layer of grease, and also has a white stuff. It's like a jelly look, really thick on the nano plate. That's what I found after I went back from Italy.
Yeah, it's just a process which goes. This is one of the things which I have explained before. This thick grease, if it doesn't move, and as you had in your container, and by process in structure you get oxide nano or copper nano, then you start the process of the creation of life, intelligence life with energy supply, and then it becomes different cells. So when you have a high grease and this fat or grease on top is exactly what we have said, that the production of oil in the structure of the universe, and especially this planet, with this amino acid combination will never finish. And what the indication are is that the more CO2 you put in the air, the more oil you produce. If you have the facility to extract the oil, the CO2, through the plant system or through the new boxes which we have put, then the production of amino acid leads to production of any kind of protein which you like. So if you have a static condition and this process can carry on, then it will go right through the production of oil. And when you have a CO2 oxide on your plate, it means that there's been a opening in the magnetic field plasma of the matters which you have nanocoated on the plate.
然后开始解释说，这个就是我常跟大家说的，就是说，如果你要是有这个干丝的，就是二氧化碳干丝吸收的这个过程的话，然后这个就是说，你这个环境的话会使你能够制造出各种氨基酸，然后就是这个就是这个脂肪。然后就是说，生命的过程就是这样出来的。然后也是跟，我也是一直在说，实际上我们这个制造油的这个过程是一直在进行的。如果你能够从各种就是说东西里面来吸收这个二氧化碳和制造干丝的话，然后你这个过程里面就会制造出油脂。还有什么？Okay, next question.
好的，下一个问题是还是跟这个问题相关联的，那么是关于生命能量杯子的问题。请问这个生命能量杯是不是可以放油脂进到杯子的夹层中，还是说可以把二氧化碳干丝和油脂混合在一起放到夹层中来处理中间的水来喝？
然后第8个问题一起问吧，都差不多了。
好的，第8个问题也是相同的。那么还有一个问题就是也是关于生命能量杯的，也是问是否能把这个氧化铜干丝还有 CH3 干丝还有二氧化碳干丝混合在一起放进杯子的夹层中去处理水，这样没有直接接触干丝的情况，那处理过的水能否喝
？Next question is about the cup of the health cup. The cup of life is that if we made this cup can is that put CO2 gas in the between, so can magnetize the water or treat the water to drink, or should I put CO2 gas and other type of grease or other type of gas into the between the two layers? Is the cups like a rake on the other day that he showed? Is that the type of cup? He's indicating that. So can use those gas and stuff to treat the water to drink. Mr. Cash? I think he's.
The audio is not coming through. Right
Yeah,
now.
what
Okay.
I can you hear me? It's I don't understand what this question means. It's a very
Okay. This question is Rick. Do you understand it? Can you explain?
Yeah. Let me try to explain. Like the margarita cups that I brought to the Spaceship Institute as a way of visualizing putting an interlayer in these. They're insulated cups essentially with a fluid inside. So the fluid can be replaced with a mixture of GANs. In this case, he's talking about CuO GANs, CH3 GANs, and CO2 GANs together, and put them in this interlayer of the cup. And then to pour water in inside the cup, would that magnetize the water? Would it change the water, and could we drink it? Is the
yes,
idea.
it can.
It
Can
would
be done, yeah.
be no direct connection between the materials, but the plasmatic one is the contact.
You do absorb the field of the plasma of the GANs. But the water stays as water with the plasma of the GANs, magnetic field, gravitational field. This is one of the ways we said before, in not eating the GANs, but eating the properties of the GANs, or absorbing the properties of the GANs. Hello?
Yes, right. So
you want to translate it?
Yes, thank you.
I didn't hear clearly. Could you repeat again?
I said
It's
yes. This water can be drunk because there is no contact between the water and the GANs. It's a double layer cups, and it depends what energy you want from the cup, from the water.
然后开始说这个水你是可以喝的，因为这个水没有跟这个干丝直接接触。他说，我们要的是说就是具有这个干丝的这个能量，而不是说要喝这个，就是说吃这个干丝。但是呢，这个也要根据你看你需要什么样的能量，然后看这个干丝给这水提供了什么能量，来决定就是怎么样做。Okay.
Oops,
Next question.
We're having a bit of issues with the live stream. I think it might be at the other end. It seems to be that everything is working correctly here, but
they're writing down. They can't see it. It's not
could be an overload on the live stream.
We only have 62 people.
Well, yeah, but I mean on the main live stream channels, perhaps. Okay, let's carry on here if we can.
Okay.
Are there any experiments that you can show us that we can learn?
大姐，我们到最后那个问题。
你问最后问题吧。最后问题是关于打坐的吗？
种子的。
种子的。
就是
那
下第14个问题 ，Question 14。
我现在特别断续耶。Now, yeah, I cannot hear clearly. It's all break up into pieces of the sound. 那你就念了吗？
好的，我现在念一下第14个问题。那么这个问题呢是关于第一个问题是关于种子浸泡的问题。那有个中国朋友呢进行了这个种子的一个浸泡的一个实验。那容器中呢就是根据这个图中的这个水加了这个密封的一个二氧化碳干式的一个外层。那么呢通过把种子呢放在这个水中间，然后外层呢是二氧化碳干式的这么一个结构，那么可以促进种子发芽。那么请问根据图示它所设计的杯子，
我这太少了。我听不见了，没声音了。
Livestream as well here. I'm not sure what's
Yeah.
going on. We may have we may need to restart the live stream in order to connect with a different connection there. Now it's back on okay at my end, but it was kicking in the so-called anti-lag feature. And
Lisa.
Hello, yeah.
You see, I just posted a link. Can I get you just to try it? Supposedly the sound is okay in it right now, so I just want to see if it's any better for you for the sound. There now you can be in both spots, so it might be a little bit echoey, but just to see if you can hear. Okay.
I can hear, but okay.
But it's breaking up, right? You said it's breaking up on the Skype.
Yeah, but now it's better.
Now it's better. Okay.
Yeah, now it's better. So, okay, I will read the question. 就说一个中国朋友第14个问题啊，中国朋友进行了种子浸泡，容器中的水，然后呢，加入密封的这个二氧化碳干式管子，可以促进发芽。然后，他说，加入密封的管子是什么意思啊？哦，OK。I now understand。然后他就说，把这个杯子是不是有同样的效果？The 14th question is about the treatment for the seeds. He said there are some friend treated. He used CO2 gas tubes to treat the seeds, make them germinate better. Now he's asking whether he can use that capital against cups to treat the just a minute. 你能读吗？
Oh, we seem to be having communications problems pretty much on every different system and device possible to mankind at this point, which kind of makes sense as we just had major earthquakes and major eruptions all around the world at the same time.
Where and when?
Well, I think this is a good time to try the open meetings just after this.
Yes,
this workshop, because I think
seems very timely to me.
Yes.
Now better.
Yes. I'm back. Yeah.
Shall we try again then?
Yeah, about the seeds.
Don't understand what the question is.
Yes, could you repeat the question?
It's question 14.
Yeah, the question 14 is about he want to see whether the cup we mentioned that the early question use that cup to treat the seeds, whether it will work.
What do you mean, to drink from it?
No, to treat the seeds.
Do you mean to decontaminate the ocean? Is that what you're talking about, or?
No, to treat the seeds.
Seas.
Yeah,
The thing is too big. The only solution is to create systems, gravitational magnetic systems, which you can drag or flow or position above the sea to extract. In the coming weeks, the Keshe Foundation will show these systems. We are working on it. It's the way you can extract any kind of metals or pollution from the air and the seawater. The plasma reactor is the magnetic field attraction is one of the backbone works of the foundation. We have tested it before, it is correct. And in the coming weeks, we'll commercialize it, where you can extract any kind of chemicals from the air or the water, and the same with the soil. The two cases of the water and the soil will be tested in the second phase, what do you call it, in the second stage, the fifth phase of Fukushima, in the coming days. In the next couple of weeks or so, this will be tested, but in a different form, and then it'll be done in a dynamic form in the coming weeks, in the coming months. Do you want to translate?
I turn off my mic. OK，开始刚才解释说他可能没听清是我们处理种子，他所以以为是处理这个海水和海洋，然后开始说我们现在马上就会有一个系统可以直接从空气或者海水里边来提取这些个，就是说吸引这些东西，可以处理这个水和空气，同时呢，我们也会有这个系统来处理这个土壤，我们马上就要会进行第5次的这个福岛的实验，然后就是处理这个污染，我们这个系统大概是在我们可能会先有静态的，然后会有动态的这个反应器系统，然后处理这个就是空污染的问题。然后我们可能会把这个推向商业化。
Any other question? Hello.
还有其他问题吗？
Is there any report on the agricultural end from the Chinese regarding some of the crops that, or is it the wrong time of year for that?
It had, because it was a cold winter, so the environment not so suitable for the test, so they will do it in the spring.
We are in the spring, in the middle of a spring.
Okay, now started. Barry is much warmer.
Yeah, so this way we're going to starve. There'll be no food.
Okay. 然后开始说已经开始春天了，说需要应该做，要不然开始，要不然我们就会没有食品了。
Lisa, can you tell us a bit about question, I think I'm not sure if it's question 13, but figure 5, it has some sort of vial with a purplish gans or liquid inside, or Is it a 2-cord bottle? Is that
this is also also like a double layers the bottle. This is the bottle. He put the color in is show it. It's like have different. So it's same as
we have
your
a look?
cup. This one is same as your cup. There's another question. Nathan, you didn't ask 10 to 11.
Yes，我现在开始又跟这个农业相关的一个问题，就是第9个问题是来自于天明的一个问题，他非常关心这个转基因的问题。那么干丝可以逆转种子的转基因成分，这个我知道，但我想知道干丝是否能够逆转转基因的蔬菜或者水果。
Okay, doesn't have translation here. This one is this person is very concerned about the 转基因是怎么说呀？转基因 MO 转基因叫什么 ？M 转基因的
earthquake?
No MO GMO.
Oh, GMO.
About GMO, he said he is very, very concerned about the product of GMO. In the like before the experiment shows the gains can change the seeds of can change back the genetic, but he want to know whether use gains can treat the fruit or the vegetable, make them better, not as GMO. He means treat the product.
Yeah. What we have seen up to now, genetically modified seeds show a change and variation in their structure. And from what we have seen, it goes back by changing the what they call RNA within the structure of the seed. So yes, as we said before, goodbye Monsanto. So what they call genetically modified seeds are, and we will show it in the coming weeks now that we are in the spring, and we are opening one of the spin-offs of the Keshe Foundation will be agriculture and seed modification. One of the good things is that a lot of seeds where we had the original and then they have modified it and then again modified it again, we should be able to get the what we call, let's say 2-3 generations before. Somebody's opened a live stream. And then process it through the GANs and see how far back we can go. So if a seed was modified once and then modified again and then modified again, so with use of the GANs, if we get all 3 stages of the seed process, we can see how far back we can go with the process of the genetics with the use of GANs. It does affect, it does change. We know that for some years now. But now the processes that we can become more specific, how much and how many, to what origin we go back to. Don't forget, modification is a natural process in the universe. Even the seeds we use now, which is supposedly not to be changed, have evolved over centuries and thousands of years the way we want them, from grass to different kind of, what do you call it, grain. So modification is part of the natural process of the seed. But the present modification to control the seeds, which is promoted and heavily controlled by organizations like Monsanto, this has come to an end. And this thing will very soon will offer international with the exact reversal, which means they cannot control the seed that can give harvest once only, and the farmers cannot reproduce from the seed they have again. So we We know it's correct, it can be done, but now with the opening of Institute and spin-offs which are sitting within the structure to come up in the coming weeks and months, we will tell you how much, where it is, and what it is, because we are bringing experts from the Keshe Foundations around the world to be able to assess, examine, and give us exact details. In the coming weeks and months, as we go deeper and deeper, Keshe Foundation on regular basis will release what we call papers on weekly basis, be it on cleaning up the air, be it on the decontamination of the water, decontamination of the air, space technology, agriculture, and the rest. This is the change. And I think a lot of people will like the new Keshe Foundation Research Center, which we are in the process of acquiring in the coming weeks.
OK，开始回答说，这个就是我们的这个干丝可以处理，使这个种子的基因转基因部分可以就是返回到原来的这个就是说可能就是说1代或者2代或者几代，我们呢这个。就是这样的话，这个孟山都的这种对于种子的控制就会没作用了，因为就说这样因为他们现在控制的话，你就只能1代就说只能有一个产量，然后马上就要还从他那里来进种子嘛，我们就是不能够利用这个新的种子来进行再生产繁殖，这样呢就把它这个给消除了。然后在接下来的一段时间里呢，我们会有就是说更来一些个就是农业方面的这种专家们的加入，我们开始基金会，我们会进行更详细的实验，是如何处理，然后处理到什么程度，怎么样才能使这个种子就是说回到在这个实质上。这个种子是一种调节过程，就是是一直在改进的过程当中。就是说这个改变是一种很自然的现象，所以呢，就是我们现在的种子已经不是，我们现在已经是变得就是成粮食嘛，就是这种颗粒的粮食，已经不是很久以前的这种草或者就是这种植物了。所以呢，我们已经进行了就是说成千上万年的这种已经这种变化进化，开始说这种进化是一种自然现象，这个是没有什么可以就是说。是一个普遍的，就是一个正常的规律，就是说对种子的调节，而且就是说我们也一直在调节人类，就是说这个种子，所以我现在在看这个，就是说开始对这个说这个孟山都再见，主要是说不需要他们。因为他们这样的话，对种子的控制上，就是说，我们要让他们，就是说，不能让他们受他们这种控制，主要是不是说从这个基因来对人类的危害这种说的，是主要是说对于种子的控制。就是说这个种子这个进化和这种调节，就是我们这叫 GMO 嘛 ，genetic modify， 这个就是说这种调节是一直在存在的。然后以后我们still not finished 的呀，然后我们可能在以后的就是说下面基金会的这个过程当中，我们会有一些个文章会逐步释放出来，关于就是说种子、农业，关于环境处理、污染各种方面，我们会逐步都有就是说文章释放，然后这个科技推广出来。Okay, now finish.
Okay. And maybe it's a time to announce something new, that it affects the Chinese Keshe Foundation, the Chinese community directly. And that is, as you know, in the process of the meetings and opening of the Keshe Foundation in Trani in Italy, we have a possible opening of the 3 Keshe Foundation Institutes. One is in US, which hopefully will be headed by Armor. One will be in Moscow, Russia. It's possible to be announced this very soon. And there's another one talk which we know within the coming weeks. Hopefully we get a confirmation through the Chinese community is opening a Keshe Foundation Space Institute in China. For the Keshe Foundation Space Institute in China, we need at least 10 Chinese of the high caliber of scientists or engineers who can join us within the next few weeks for us to train, for them to go back to China on a regular basis or on an interim basis to start the teaching and the, what you call the university or institute in China. So if you are of a scientific background in the space, electronic, agriculture, nanotechnology, and health, please, is for the Keshe Foundation China to open what they call it, an email that the Chinese community scientists can apply to become a student at Keshe Spaceship Institute here in training for a year, for us to train you to go back to start the Space Institute in China. So we announce formally this once if completed the agreement within the next 4 weeks, 5 weeks, and we have a very high hope will go through. Then is for you to start applying or offering your position to become a student in the Space Institute here in training for 1 year, maybe up to 3 years on an interim basis, to start teaching the Chinese community in China directly through the institute in China. So if it's a responsibility of people who are running the Keshe Foundation in China to open a channel for people to register and you know the conditions and be able to get a visa, to have the ability to pay for the training course here, or we try to find other alternative that if other people are needed for the caliber, we can support them here to be here to start the Keshe Foundation in China. The institute, the special institute. We can translate.
OK，开始说，我现在要宣布一个非常就是重要的事情，这个跟我们中国的这个就是知识寻求我们中国的这个就说有关，主要是我们可能要在马上可能要建立3个这个太空学院的机构，在一个是在美国，一个是在莫斯科，一个可能会在中国。这样呢，我们会需要至少要10个人这种在科技方面或者就是工程师和农业或者电子，就是各行各业吧，这些方面的专家和有就是说能力的来学习的人来加入到我们开始基金会，然后到我们这个 Trinity 这里可以学习1年的时间，这样呢回去就可以在中国的这个太空学院可以来进行教学，然后说希望呢我们能够把这方面的人才就是说希望有这方面的人才可以加入进来，然后知道我们的这个就是说要求可以在这个网上可以申请，希望能够有这方面的人来参加。OK。Hello.
We need we need at least 10 Chinese scientists to be trained here that they can start training the others in China.
说我们需要至少有10位这种科学家来在我们这里边，就是说经过就是培训之后，能够在对于中国进行教学。
Okay. Any other question?
Nathan.
Let me explain something while we are, because we don't make all the announcements in the other programs. The Keshe Foundation Research Center and a spin-off center has been located, so we have found a place. It's just a matter of the formalities. It's in a beautiful area, independent, and hopefully in coming weeks we will announce the as we said, the Keshe Research Center and the spin-off in one location here in Italy. that allows us to do the teaching and research at the same time. One of the, I could say, the good news for us as a foundation is that we received, or we have managed to secure 2 scholarships for 2 students in the past couple of weeks. One was done voluntarily from Brazil, and the other one was offered through the Sohail organization in China. These 2 places have been, allocated. And one of the people who we met today, we came to an agreement with, hopefully he'll be here in the next 4 or 5 weeks, will allow the production of and the development of the what we call software accompanying hardware to measure equipment or fields. This will take some months to complete, but on the other hand, we need a lot of support from the Chinese electronic and electrical people who can join us, that we can take this back to China with cooperation of Sohail in China to develop it to a full system. So if you are expert in electronics in China and you understand the technology of the Keshe Foundation, that you can help with the development of the plasma measurement technology, which is getting developed by Sohail or Omega, what they call it, Magna, and with Evans and Sohail and Professor Winter, and now with the team here. There is a huge need, urgent need for electronic and plasma scientists who would like to start helping to develop these equipments in China. Again, get in touch with the Keshe Foundation under the, what you call SSI, Space Institute, with the submission not applying to become a student, but applying to be able to support the development of the electronics and what you call plasmatic systems for measurement of the plasma in China. There is an opening, there's a number of openings. Sohail will decide in China. So this is the first series of employment research which is offered by the Keshe Foundation in line with what we said before. And these jobs have to go, and it's got to be in China because the base is in China. And we'll go with collaboration here in the Spaceship Institute or Keshe Foundation in Italy, and the Professor Winter group, or people who are with him, and the Chinese production line team. So today, not only we announced the startup has been promised a scholarship, 2 has been offered this week. Now we are offering job to the high caliber scientists in electronics and plasma technology to get in touch with the foundation, and decision will be made by Sohail and in totality, that we need to develop the systems, and now we are offering jobs to start these systems through the Keshe Foundation, the production and research side.
开始说就是我们有的时候可能就是说不是所有的东西都公布，但是我们现在呢有2个东西还是可以就是给大家公布一下，在这个教学里边，一个就是说我们这个另外的一个就是研究中心可能就是说已经就是找好位置了，还有就是说作为就是这种分离公司我们也已经又找到了好的就是说位置。这里说一下，因为他们这个教学和实验室是在Trinity，是就是我们去的这个大学里边的这个是就是说在他们里的一块，然后呢这个 Research Center 呢跟 Spin-off 是就是说在另外一块又找到了，还有我们已经正式给2名那个学员有了这个奖学金，它叫 Scholarship。一个是由巴西的人提供的，一个是由这个 Sohail 提供的，所以有正式2位学员已经正式给他们了这个 offer 了。然后还有一个呢就是说因为我们现在要开发这个 测量等离子体的这个仪器和这个所有的这一套系统那么就是说在意大利那边有这个 Winters 这个教授的这个小组，还有在大陆这边有 Sohel 这个公司因为 Sohel 这公司呢，所以现在呢我们会需要一些个就是电子方面专家和等离子体电子方面的专家能够一起合作来能够就是说开发我们这个系统。所以我们现在呢就是说有了2个这个叫已经给2个学员这种奖学金吧，这个 scholarship。然后呢，同时我们现在还有几个这种工作位置可以就是说提供给大家，我们这个现在需要这方面的人才，这样呢你就可以跟这个我们这个学院和这个基金会联系，然后跟这个到手还有这里边来工作，就是来共同开发设计这个测量系统。
Okay, now we have another announcement which affects the Chinese community directly. As a lot of you know, Mr. Hui and his partners have set up a company and a structure for establishment of the institute and the heavy side of the commercialization of the industrial side of the Keshe Foundation in past couple of weeks. The foundation has received the share rights of the new companies, and so if you are looking or you are applying for these places for a scholarship, this and the industrial commercialization of the industrial side will go to the company which is set up by Mr. Hui. The company is already registered in China. It's one is on the educational side and one is on the research and commercialization of the industrial side. We thank Mr. Hui for this initiative. We have received a full share operation of the companies while he was here. And this allows us to split the production and commercialization in 2 sections. What we call the white goods and the, household, and the soft industrial goes to the the Omega group, and the industrial side, like cleaning of the environment, the health production of for healthcare in a heavy scale for hospitals, and systems for the pollution of the waters and the land, and heavy power generation will go to the section of the Mr. Hui. This is the same Keshe Foundation operating in 2 separate areas, but collectively together. And at the same time, the collaboration between the Sohel Group and Mr. Hui will allow us to start the establishment of the space technology for China, which means the development of the spacecrafts and all the system control for flights. And we expect this section will be handed over to the Chinese government in a due course. So now in China, we operate under 2 banners. One is Omega Quantum, with what we call the whiteware, and one is for the industrial side of commercialization, which will be headed by Mr. Hui and his team. And at the same time, whatever we develop between the 2, we support the Chinese Space Organization as a Spaceship Institute for development of the spacecrafts and the system control of plasmas. So at this moment, all the efforts on the commercialization by the foundation, like the CO2 kit, the belts, and all the hiccups which we had in transfer of the technology is getting ironed out. So China becomes a center for production and commercialization of the Keshe Foundation systems. And in due course, we announced the first cleaning system for water through the organization collaboration between the heavy side and the light side, which is one is Sohel Group and one is Mr. Hui. But totally operating on the different section on their own independently.
然后现在我还有另外一个事情要公布，这个可能会直接影响到我们中国这方面，那就是我们跟那个Mr. Hui 这个他的这个公司的这个合作我们是这样，在这个 Sohail 这边呢，我们会有一些个就是这个它叫就是轻型的这些个产品，比如说像原先的 CO2 包，还有健康医疗袋，还有以后发展的这个开发的这个测量的仪器等等。就会有健康的仪器，然后在这个Mr. Hui 这边呢，我们会有关于工业方面这个就是说项目，我们是2个同时并进的，这个这可以就是说空气污染处理呀，所有这些方面Miss Hui 在这边，他已经有这个公司可以进行这些方面的就是工作，所以就是如果大家就是好像是提到过吧，有就说如果想做这方面的工作可以联系。石头还有什么补充吗？
没有，可以提下一个问题吗？
我打开始说完。OK。
So I think this is a good news for the Chinese community and starts bringing job into the Chinese community of Keshe Foundation Space and Institute and the industrial side. Because carry on.
说这个呢，应该是对我们中国这个方面会有一个很大的作用前面还说了一个说我们中国就会成为这个世界的这个中心，因为我们一方面呢在这边生产，一方面呢又在这边有科研和发展这个工业，以后的话也就是说希望我们的技术直接给中国的这个太空的这个就是政府太空这方面的工作直接给他们可以发展。所以说这个呢对我们中国来说是很好的，可以给我们提供工作机会。
So we estimate the large number of Chinese Keshe Foundation community to be working with the different parts of the Keshe Foundation for development of the different aspects of technology in China without needing to come to Italy while we train and we develop the technology here for you to be commercialized in China.
所以说我们这样就是说希望能够就说是在希望在中国能够就是发展我们各方面的科技，这样呢直接我们就可以在中国发展，就是直接为中国的这个可以应用，就不需要就是说去意大利。
Whereas some of you listen from different part of the world, we carry this again in the Thursday teaching knowledge seeker group, is that the Keshe Foundation through Sohail and Keshe Foundation through Mr. Hui, in what they develop for commercialization, used by different Keshe Foundations, different part of the world, gives a financial backing from their activities to set up the Keshe Foundation institutes in their countries, even in United States. So the CO2 kits, the health kits, the water kits, which are manufactured in China, the profit from them will be sold in different nations by those who set up the Keshe Foundation around the world, allows the financial income for setting up the institutes in their countries. That we take and we keep the people in their nation and train and make them available the facilities to be able to benefit from this establishing of the two Keshe Foundation, commercial units.
然后就是说我们现在听这个教学的还有世界各部分其他的这个人，我们这个就是在中国发展的这个产品和就是这个商业可以使得你能够就是说利用这个技术在本国可以提供这个就是说得到这个资金可以用于本国的这个发展的这个基金会，还有什么石头？你再说一下，就是这个产品可以
As
直
we
接
see, yeah, carry on. Sorry.
OK go ahead.
As we see, the foundation through these organizations will create large number of jobs in China, as it already has started with the commercialization of the CO2 and kits. That we see the start of the commercialization, creating employment in the large numbers in China, which then it'll be fed back to the other nations for their growth, that they can do it in their own countries.
然后我们在这里边看到，就是这些生产可以为中国提供这个很多就业这样呢，其他国家也可以利用这个，然后在他们自己的国家也会产生就业机会，可以为自己本国来就是带来福利。
And as I explained to Mr. Hui and Sohail in our discussions in the past, more or less all the profits made, which covers the 49% shares of the Keshe Foundation, will stay in China, and system will be developed and be given to the Chinese community of the people who need it, that we do not bring any money out of China. Our profit in China made by both commercial activities, more or less 95% of it, unless we need to bring money out of China for other activities supporting other Keshe foundations, will be paid back to our own organization to build systems free for Chinese nationals who cannot afford to benefit financially or be able to purchase these units.
然后就是在过去的几天里边，也是我跟索海尔跟 Miss Hui 谈到的这个就是关于这个问题，就是我们所有这个商业化的这个盈利，就是包括我们基金会的这49%，我们不会把这个钱拿出中国。如果在中国的话，我们会利用它来在中国重新在生产这个用于研发这个设备，然后同时呢能够制造这个设备给哪些个没有就是不够能够支付这个设备的人来就是说给他们可以免费，这样就是说完全用于这个继续的这个发展。不会，我们不会，就是95%以上不会，把这个钱拿出来。
And now that, especially in the health side with the belts and the CO2 kit, which we know a large orders is due to the Sohail and then to Mr. Hui, that themselves from their share of profit that they carry from the corporation, they invest the money back into the Chinese society too. That we add to the assets and to the better living of the Chinese nationals through their own effort and through their own work.
然后就说我们通过这个事情就是Mr. 索海还有 Mr. Hui， 我们这个都就说他们的这个盈利也能够用于直接会用于我们就是当地的中国的这个发展，为我们自己这个国家就是利益服务。
Now the pressure goes back on the Chinese Keshe Foundation people, the websites and the forums, to start organizing themselves for employments, and scientists who can collaborate with us, who've been around the foundation, understand the work of the new technology, and can help with the commercialization and industrialization of the technology.
所以现在呢，就是工作压力给了这个我们中国开始基金会的这些人员，希望他们能够有这个就说就业机会，然后同时组织好这些就是把这些个商业化，还有就是能够带来更多的这个科学就是人才来加入。
So whatever we develop here in the Keshe Foundation Space Institute or Keshe Foundation Research and Development in Italy and around the world will be transferred to these two organizations to commercialize it worldwide. That allows the creation of assets in their nations to establish the other, institutes and companies to produce these products in their own country. That in time, we support the African nations first, and then Americans can use the products of the both from the company from Sohail and Mr. Hoy to set up their institutes and their own production lines in China, in their own countries from China.
我们是这样，通过我们就是说在这个开始基金会，我们在这意大利的这个研发和这个发展的系统，我们会直接把这个技术给这个这2个公司，中国的公司，让他们来商业化运作然后这个以后呢，我们可以把这个提供给全世界，然后我们至少可以帮助首先帮助非洲人解决他们的问题。
Okay, I think we finished. There's no other question. And we go to the health side of today's session.
OK， 然后开始说，我认为是不是我们今天就是说今天的这个结束了，然后我们就可以直接下面进入到我们的健康的那一部分。
Okay, thank you, Mr. Keshe. And if there's nothing else you want to add, that'll be
No.
Okay. That'll be the end of the 9th Chinese Knowledge Seekers Workshop. And once again, thank you everyone for attending.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
very much.
you.
And I would like,
Thank you,
like
Mr. Keshe. Thank you, Rick.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. And it was nice meeting you, Lisa.
Yeah.
In what do you call physicality and person.
Yeah, I was very
work.
happy. Yeah, I'm really happy to be there. Yeah.
So now the next session in China is your headache, not ours.
Okay.
This time we come
Okay,
to
thank you.
enjoy.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you,
much.
Rick. Yeah, thank you,
Okay.
Vince.
Thank
And
you. Bye-bye. Bye.
Bob.
Bye.
And
Bye
yeah.
bye. Bye bye, Lisa.
Bye bye,
Bye-bye.
Vince. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.